Shopify Metafields tutorial, how to use Metafields for beginners. Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll show you guys how you can get started with using Metafields in Shopify. Metafields can be a great way for you to add more info about a product without having a standard set added in your particular product template or page templates. Metafields can help you in adding more info to any blog that you have and can be a great source for this additional info. So let's get started. Now, what is the difference between a meta field and just writing down maybe the composition of this item? So I'll show you guys what happens if you try to write down the composition of an item. So I have a clothing store, and in my clothing store, I have different types of items. I have this winter coat, and I also have this silk blouse, and I want to write the fabric composition of both of these items. Now, if I go into customize and I open up the default product, so if I just open up any product over here, and I go on ahead and click on add block, and I add some text. And the text block, let's say it says fabric composition like this, and then I write 100% silk. What happens is that if I add it to one product, I've just inserted this in this product, but if I go ahead and change the product to our winter coat, because I added this in the product template, it has been inserted into all of my products, whereas all of my products are going to have different fabric compositions. So this is where meta fields come into play, where you can add a specific designation, and in those designations, you can add different data fields. Those data fields can then be derived by the product. So let's get started with setting up our meta field. To get started, the first step we're going to do is we're going to go into settings on the bottom left of our Shopify dashboard. Once we do that, we're going to scroll down. And once we scroll down, we have custom data. Click on custom data over here, and you will find different definitions for a meta field. So there are different types of pieces of data that you can add. We can add a custom piece of data to a specific part of your store. For us, I want to add custom data to my product. If you want to add custom data to your variants, collections, pages, locations, you can add that as well. Now, I am going to click on products over here and click on add definition. And this is going to be material composition like this. And I'll just write that. And once I do that, I have the description. So let's say fabric material or whatever you want, you can add that as a description. Below that, you have options. So if this should have storefront access, if this is a filter in the product index, so this would add the filter to the filtering options of your product index as well as automated collections. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a type. Now, for our type, this is going to be single line text, and it's going to be a list of values. So it's not one value, it's going to be a list of values. And I can limit it to preset choices as well. Now, this is totally up to you if you want to add different meta fields to different products, or if you want to add meta fields that you've already set. Now, I want the minimum character count to be 1 and the maximum to be 20, let's say. And then after that, I'll make it 30 just to be safe, because if I'm writing a long description of the fabric composition, then I have the regular expression, specify a pattern that the values must match. So for that, this is going to be alphabetic characters. After that, I want to turn this on as a filter in the product index. Once I do that, I have automated collection. So if I want to add this definition to condition options in automated collections, so I want to automatically add a particular meta field into a specific collection. I don't like to do that, so I'm just going to proceed, and I'll click on save over here. Once I have added this particular meta field definition, I'm going to exit out of the settings and then go into product on the top left. Once you go into your product on the top left, open up any particular product and scroll to the bottom of the product. Once you scroll to the bottom of the product, you're going to automatically see meta fields at the bottom. At the bottom, you will see all of your particular product meta fields that are available, and I can click on this, and then I can add any material composition. And I'm adding this for the silk blouse, and it won't show up in the wool coat or, the coat. So I'll add the meta field of 20% acrylic, 40% silk, and then 40% synthetic silk fiber. And now I'm going to click on save. It has some variation errors. Oh, so I've added percentages, as you guys can see. So for that, I'll have to go into the definition because I didn't realize I would be adding a percentage sign. So I'm going to go ahead and change the alphanumeric expression, and I'm going to change that into alphanumeric characters. Instead of just it being a text character, it needs to have numbers as well as signs. Once I've done that, I'll go back into my product. That was my bad, guys. But I'll just go on ahead, open up our silk blouse again, scroll to the bottom, add our material composition, which is going to be 40% silk, 40% synthetic silk fiber, and then lastly 20% acrylic, like this. Once I've done that, I can click on save. And now once I've saved this, I've added spaces in this as well. I've just inserted the material composition. I'll have to edit that a little. 40, add item, 40 synthetic silk. And now that I've updated my meta field, if I go on ahead and open my online store, and I can take a look at my silk blouse. So I haven't added the meta field info to our storefront. Now to add this meta field info to our storefront, we're going to go into online store on the left and then click on customize. Once we click on customize, we're going to open up the product page. So just opening up this product page, we're going to go on ahead, click on the add section. We can search for meta fields over here. And if you can't find meta fields in your sections or your blocks, you can see you have custom data. You should be able to find the options of meta fields in your theme settings. You insert those into your product info. So just taking a look at derived data, we have app embeds. So now in our product section, what we're going to do is we're going to click on add block. And once we click on add block, we're going to take the text over here. Yeah. So we're going to take the text because we added our meta field definition as a text line. So we're going to insert a text block over here. Once you insert the text block, you can just name it whatever. I'm going to name it material. And then you have the text style. If this is body, subtitle text, or uppercase text. And if I want this in the form of a drop down, we can do that as well. But I will click on these icons over here, which says connect dynamic source. And you're going to click on this and then select material composition. Once you do that, you will see that this will derive the data from your particular data source. So you guys can see it has inserted the data from our meta field over here. Now, if I go back and I want to do this in the form of a drop down, I can click on add over here, add block, and you can search for icon pop-up collapsible row. So take a collapsible row, and in your collapsible row, you can add a icon. I'll remove the icon over here, and I want to rename this into fabric composition, like this. And then for the row content, I'll click on connect dynamic source, and you can connect your fabric composition from here. And in this way, you can get started with meta fields on Shopify. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.